This Pride Month, Sword and Key is raising money for Lambda Legal Defense and Education Fund. Lambda Legal Defense and Education Fund works to defend and achieve full recognition of the civil rights of queer people and everyone living with HIV in the United States. Their efforts focus on impact, litigation, education, and public policy work. For over 50 years, they have fought and won landmark legal cases, and even now have 6 active cases against the current administration. Sword and Key is raising money alongside their official Tiltify fundraiser, which means every dollar donated will be matched up to $150,000. There are also other ways to help: sharing the events, boosting posts, or even looking into volunteering your time with the organization. Every little bit helps.
Ahoy, and welcome everybody. Welcome to the penultimate episode of Cursed Captains of Cthulhu right here on Sword and Key. This is a game of Cursed Captains of Cthulhu, a game made by Black Cats Gaming, created by James Barry. If you want to see more about it, please check out Black Cats Gaming, or you can always check out a previous Sword and Tea that I did with James Barry, where we talked all about this game, which kind of sparked the interest that led to this game in particular. We will be doing a giveaway for a free PDF copy of Cursed Captains of Cthulhu right around break time is when it will start, and then we'll announce the winner at the end point of this game. So it's a 3-hour stream, so bear in mind about an hour and a half in, that's when we'll start the giveaway. So stick around, it'd be great to have you there for it. This is a Sword and Key game. I am Derek Sword. I use he, him pronouns. I am your GM for this game, and I am joined, as always, by these very lovely people who I will have introduce themselves. Before that, I do want to say that this game is in support of Lambda Legal. Lambda Legal is a really important organization. We try to support a number of philanthropies throughout the year. During Pride Month, we try to support organizations that work towards and benefit the equality and the rights of people in the LGBTQ+ community. So Lambda Legal Defense and Education Fund is the full name of this organization, and they do defend and defend and work towards the achievement of full recognition for civil rights of queer people, as well as people living with HIV and AIDS in the United States. Their efforts focus on litigation, education, public policy work, a lot of really important, great stuff, especially now. So your donations go towards a really great cause, and they can spice up our game. They can give little boosts to our players, like rerolls or nudges, which kind of allow their dice to move in just a little bit in the right direction or the wrong direction, should they be interested in doing that, as well as some other spicy things on there. So please check that out. Those incentives go towards other games as well that we have that are in support of Lambda Legal. This is a Sword and Key game. Like I said, you can find all of Sword and Key stuff at beacons.ai/Sword and Key. You can find the links to donate to Lambda Legal at any time, not just in chat, not just on socials, but on the beacons, as well as all of our other charitable organizations, our philanthropic endeavors there. You can also find links to join our Discord, hang out with cool people, talk about cool things. You can find links to our YouTube to watch our previous episodes. You can find links to our socials, podcasts that I do, I'll talk about later. You can also find links to our affiliates. We have a number of great affiliates like Long Dog Dice. Jen from Long Dog Dice actually just had a birthday a couple of days ago. So do yourself a favor and, kind of a little gift for Jen, little gift for you. Buy yourself a perfect set of dice, and when you do, use code Sword and Key for 10% off your first purchase. We are also affiliates with Eldritch Foundry. If you're looking to get custom minis of a TTRPG character, no matter how weird and wild or normal and mild they happen to be, you can use code Sword and Key for 10% off your first purchase there as well. And we are also affiliates with Hit Point Press. They're the makers of Humblewood and the Griffin Saddlebag books and so many incredible things. And you can use our affiliate link if you're going to be purchasing anything from them. All that said, let's go ahead and go around, have these lovely people say more about themselves. Abhishek, if you don't mind starting us out.
Alrighty, hey everyone. My name is Abhishek Batange. I use he/him pronouns. I will be playing Kayn, the the crew's Riven, who is he's gonna have fun, maybe, hopefully, we don't know exactly.
I really appreciate that energy of having fun, maybe, hopefully, in a cursed world where a crewmate's already been kidnapped. But you gotta find the silver lining to those storm clouds. Next up we have
now, so it's fine.
Absolutely. Next up we have Dax.
Hi, I'm Dax, a she, her pronouns, and today I'll be playing Lucy, who also uses she, her pronouns, and Lucy is the captain of this fated crew and a ship with no name called the Placeholder or TBD or other names that might come up during session today. Who knows?
Just fluctuating. Every time you say something new, another like plank has to be added to the back of the ship, or you're just switching out the name. That poor life raft has like been carved so many times just to determine what it's actually come from. And then last this week, we have Val.
Hi, that me. Hi, my name is Val. I forgot everything else about me. My pronouns are she, they. I do remember those. Good news. I will be playing Araceli, pronouns they, them. And Araceli is they're going through it right now.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Okay. Amaya this week is doing some real life great things. So please check out Amaya. Socials are on the screen there, but it's Amaya is okay. And I believe Amaya uses she, her pronouns as well as Amaya's character uses she, her pronouns. But Amaya's character has been written out for the moment as well. We do have a recap. So who would like to do the recap this week?
Go on.
Abhishek, I see you leading in. Go for it.
I was leaning in to say, like, I think Araceli should do it.
Oh shit. Okay.
I also vote Araceli should do it.
Don't be scared. You're so brave.
I'm so brave. Okay, this is exactly the energy Araceli channeled, not going into the tent first. So on the last episode, we lost some crew, so we had to replenish those because we're going to a cursed island because Araceli, which I didn't draw anything on my hand, I really should have, has a cursed spot that has to be fixed or they'll die. It's fine. And we managed to convince, what was it? How many? 5?
6 in total.
6.
A math number of sailors to come with us. And as we were heading back to the ship from that, we spotted a cursed tent, and Araceli was drawn to that tent. And of course, Naomi wanted to go see what was in it. And Araceli let her, and and then she got teleported? Question mark? To a place. It was bad. Not good. And that's that.
Yeah, perfect. Please enjoy your reroll for that. I always like to say shunted when a person is like forcefully teleported. I always really like that word for it.
Shunted is very powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. Forcefully removed from the time and space in which they were currently standing and brought to another one, a less pleasant one. So yes, as your crew of the TBD have gained in number and lost an important crew member. Unbeknownst to you, Naomi now stands in the ankle deep in the sands of the Isle of the Damned, a place that seemingly is cursed by eldritch unknown powers, powers that she's becoming more familiar with their malevolence by the moment. You all have a full contingent of crew, down one of course, but still fully sailable as your sloop would need to be. What would you all like to, how would you all like to proceed as the rain continues to patter down, the storm begins to rumble above, that, flashes of green light as you all did say that you would be leaving in the morning. We're going to say the morning has arrived, and so there's now kind of this grayish green haze that's taken over as like the fog is kind of stuck on the ground. It's all this low lying moisture in the air all about you. This close to the ocean, it's kind of just this roiling fog coming in from the sea with the tide, and the crewmates have arrived. Your ship again has the full contingent. It's up to you all now.
At dawn, I suppose if these new crewmates are coming onto the ship, they are requested to sign the contracts that I totally had on hand and did not make up just because Dimitri brought them up. And they do include all the standard contract terms, including that if you die on, an excursion, then, your goods do not get bequeathed to anyone. They just go into the crew pot. So, all the standard stuff. So, but after making sure that everybody signed those, and making sure that, my standard thing of getting the ship on the way, making sure the crew is doing what they need to do, I probably would check in with Araceli and Kayn, because, they were there when the whole thing with Naomi happened. And we know that, as Val said, Araceli is going through it. So definitely want to check in and make sure my more trusted crewmates are, that they're good. That we're not going to start, shouting mutiny or something, once we're on the high seas, So.
Okay. So checking in with the crewmates then, is this just kind of like you're looking to see how they're feeling, or are you doing like verbal check-ins? Is this a come to the captain's quarters one by one sort of deal? How did you want to do this?
Probably have them both come at once. I don't want it to feel like, you're going to the principal's office or anything.
Okay. That's great. So let's go ahead. Let's call this a savvy roll, since this is definitely trying to pick up on the emotions of another person, also trying to instill a semblance of, if not outright bravery, at least like firm upper lip sort of deal with these individuals. How good was it, Dex?
Okay. So I'm not even going to use the nudge.
Okay.
So we leveled up between sessions, folks.
We did.
And
yes.
one of the things that I got was a new skill, which is great, but the skill I chose also came with a trait called Quick to Anger, which means I suffer a -3 modifier to all savvy checks. Well, that says with interacting with NPCs, so maybe actually that doesn't apply. But even so, I got a 6 total with my...
Okay.
I had all 3s. And
so you got a 9 on your overall roll, is that right? Or
no, I got a 6 because I was reading my Quick to Anger out loud, and I was like, wait, no, it's NPCs, and I'm only interacting with Araceli and Kayn, so it doesn't apply. We're good.
Okay, I'm just trying to make sure I know the math on this. You rolled 4d6, right?
Yeah, 3
okay,
threes, cool. A 2, and then I have
and a 2, and there we go. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Dex, you're a great role player. What do you think it sounds like when a captain who is now quick to anger, who's lost a friend, is like met with a bunch of sailors who maybe are, to them, maybe feeling a little spineless at this point? There's maybe a little externalized anger that's maybe wrongly directed anger. What do you think this looks like as your sailors are standing at attention on your unnamed ship? Yeah, what does this look like?
I'm just gonna do a quick disclaimer, Val and Abhishek. I am not yelling at you, okay? Okay. So I think I've got my sailors gathered, and I'm pacing. And it's not something I normally do. So those of the crew that are used to me can kind of feel that tension. They can kind of feel that anger boiling just under the surface. And I think I stop abruptly and I turn on my heel and go, all right, here's the deal. We are going to the Isle of the Damned, and that is no argument on that. And going forward, I don't want to hear anything more than yes, ma'am, or no, sir, or whatever you think you need to spout out, but you're going to spout it out to yourself. And here's the deal. We have lost someone very near and dear to this ship. Whatever ship be named, TBD, placeholder, whatever the feck you want to call it. Araceli and Kayn, I need a status on the crew. As soon as possible, meet me in my quarters. The rest of you, whatever they say, come straight from me, and I want no argument. You hear? Now hop to it. Want no lollygagging. And I think I storm off, and as I do so, I think I kick a barrel over. But it's like a barrel of pickles. So it just kind of sloshes a little bit.
Just a little extra brine in the air.
Yeah.
Okay. Lucy goes storming off towards the captain's quarters. A heading is provided, and not necessarily instilled with the greatest determination. Your crew go to their posts. Who was assigned as first mate? Was that Araceli? I believe
Araceli,
was first mate for the day.
I think so. Rotating shifts.
Yeah. As Lucy goes storming off, all of the crew kind of just turn to look at Araceli, just like, that wasn't really an order. What do we do?
Just take care of what you need to do, and something gold and glory.
Well, you heard her, lads. Take care of what you need to do, and something golden glory.
Doing great at this.
You hear one sailor in the back go, "That was bad."
You're bad.
Yeah.
Araceli just walks away like, maybe this is why Lucy's so angry all the time. Just
Dimitri stands up next to Kayn. He goes, "Well, this is good energy to come onto a ship with. Unnamed ship, bad luck. You have angry captain, bad luck. You wouldn't happen to have any, like, 6-toed cats aboard or anything to offset that? Or you've picked up Lucky Penny this morning?"
Can we say that this is when Pig runs across the deck?
Sure, yeah. Is Pig polydactyl?
No, but Pig is black. Pig is
just a black cat. Okay.
It's just straight up black cat, yeah.
Dimitri just looks down, looks back up. "Do you have any ladders I can walk under, or like mirrors I can break? Like, I'm hoping to circle back around at this point. Like, if I get so many years of bad luck, then maybe it'll just like, when you were incarnate, it would be best luck possible, because I am not seeing myself living very much longer," which is honestly fine.
I mean, so did I when I first came on here, but I'm still here, I think.
And you seem thrilled about it.
You get used to it.
Solid selling point.
edgy guy trying to pep talk.
Yeah, miserable, but you get used to it.
Kayn is like the best straight man ever.
The ropes are untied. The anchor is weighed. Your ship takes off into the Devil's Triangle. The storm whipping at your sails, yet ever propelling you forward. And Araceli, without really realizing it, you've had like this knot in your stomach that just like when the ship takes off towards that open horizon, a place where you know that where there are no islands beyond this one. As far as you're aware, not a lot of islands are known to exist in the Bermuda Triangle. but that not just it releases that all that tension. You just kind of get like it's the first time you feel like you've taken a deep breath. There's this relief, despite heading into what looks like a hurricane-like storm. You feel relaxed heading in this direction. Just throw that out there.
Oh, cool. That's not ominous at all.
No, I wouldn't worry about it.
No.
Okay. You all have several days of travel, probably upwards of a week. But your ship does seem to be moving at a pretty good clip right now. So who knows? Who knows what exactly how long it's going to take? Because again, none of you know exactly where this island is. You have a map, and Araceli has a feeling, but besides that, what are you doing to busy yourself? Or like not even just busying yourself, maybe just bore yourself. How are you occupying your time during these days?
I think Kayn, aside from like doing typical like ship work duty, funny enough, would actually spend some time in the crow's nest and making sure Guppy is okay.
Yeah, Guppy the possum,
Yeah.
waterlogged, just when you climb up to the crow's nest, and it's a little tough at first with the webbing, getting up there in a storm. Not a lot of sailors are really eager to be up that far because there's not really anything to see. The you know the your viewpoint as far as you can see out is pretty minimal at this point through the rain and the haze and everything else. Um, but you climb up there and you see a possum named Guppy that hisses at you at first in that possum way of just like it's not a normal animal, like unhinged jaws, but then it looks at you and it just goes, and these little beady eyes just blink asynchronously at you, and again just sogged all the way through.
Let's say, like when Guppy would have hissed, I think Kayn would have like partially hissed back just to like intimidate. It's like it just easy to do that. That's what I thought.
So yeah, up in the crow's nest, you sit with a smelly marsupial. Possums are
Yeah.
marsupials, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I said that and I was like, that doesn't sound right, but no, they absolutely are. Yeah. Weird animals. All right. So sitting in the crow's nest for a while. Why don't you go ahead? Let's do a roll while you're up here because you would have the best, bird's eye view line of sight of anybody out there. So let's give an accuracy roll. See if you see anything.
Accuracy. Okay. So 18, 19.
Great. That's a great roll. Sitting up at the crow's nest, kind of just like using your senses, just idly, right? There's so much rain and everything else. The crow's nest doesn't really have like a roof to it, and so you're kind of just exposed to the elements out here. But you also get that really great viewpoint of everything else around you. The mind can play tricks on a person when there's so little to take in. That's the concept of Bloody Mary, is that you're not actually seeing a ghost or some sort of apparition or something. It's that if you stand in the dark for so long with only a little bit of sensory information, your brain gets bored and it starts to create extra information for just to keep you interested, because it's just so tired of seeing the same thing. So it will actually twist your normal reflection in that dim light into something that is abnormal or even paranormal that we might interpret. So looking out into this grayish green scenery all around you, the choppy waves beneath just crashing against one another, the rain just storming down, far out, you could almost swear that you see the silhouette of something moving in the rain, like just the shadow of something, like something moving through a mist. But it's so far out, and it can't possibly be anything. And because if it was something that large, this thing would be the size of an island. but you see it twisting and coiling very, very far off. And then maybe it wasn't even there in the first place. Maybe it was just an illusion of the storm.
Interesting. I think Kayn will just sort of like rub his eyes, make sure he's like not like trying to get like that weird like sort of like you know when you see something, kind of blink a little bit, rub your eyes, like am I seeing things? Like is that real? Is that not real? He's not used to being up here, and so it's like this is definitely like a weird situation / seeing that is also just
Yeah, and when you rub your eyes, it's gone. It almost looked like island-sized tentacles all coiling and roiling against each other, and then you rub your eyes and you don't see that silhouette anymore.
It's driving me crazy, I swear. Like sort of like looks like Guppy. I'm like, yeah, it's probably already driving you crazy.
Ah.
Yeah. How the hell does Amaya put up with you?
Oh.
Naomi.
Starts going, like a whole apple just pops out.
How
Blah.
did you? I'm not even gonna ask. So many questions for Naomi when we can find her.
We say Naomi, Guppy just like crawls onto your lap and just like kneads a little bit these little possum feet that are way too close to human hands, and just like kneads into your trouser and just kind of coils up into your lap.
He sort of looks down. Doesn't do anything. Sort of looks down at Guppy like,
One of Guppy's eyes just looks up at you. The other one's looking straight. It just looks up at you like a chameleon.
I should be more freaked out about this, but given all the shit that I've seen and learned, somehow that's not the creepiest thing. But he does give Guppy a little bit of pets. I'm just like, you know what, that's fine.
And it either starts to snore or purr or growl. You're not exactly sure, but it doesn't really do anything besides that.
Weird, strange mix of all three.
It's like a gargling noise more than anything. Come. Araceli, what would you be doing to occupy your time?
I think occasionally realizing that Guppy can look in two directions at once. That's something Araceli, definitely not Val, learned right now. No, I think Araceli would probably be hyper focusing on like wind and direction and just heavily leaning into the Windcaller aspect of what they do, and just maybe be doing some weirder things like floating around and just that's how they reassure themselves that like we're fine, we can still do wind stuff and like dive in the water and look at sea creatures and talk to them, and like I am still good luck because like that is their whole thing is you're good luck.
Okay. Let's call this an abjure roll, since you are kind of tapping into your magic a little bit more.
So good at abjure. Okay. Oh, maybe I'm not. Oh no. That's 3 3s, a 4, and then I have +4 in abjure.
Okay, so 8 plus 6, so 14. Yeah. Pretty decent roll. Are you swimming alongside the ship? Is that something you'd like to try to do?
It is one of the skills I took. I think. Hold on. Oh no, I took water breathing. That's not the same as swimming well. Just kidding.
That's fine. I want to make sure, because the ship's going at a pretty decent clip. I just didn't want you to, if
Well,
you didn't have anything, you'd probably be left behind.
Yeah, I wanted to do like I wanted Araceli to kind of basically do some sick flips, but like, you know, like just do some windy things where like they would jump under the water and do some weird dolphin jumps, and everyone's like, "Why are you doing And they're just like, I just need to do
Just some sick flips. Yeah.
I need to do some sick flips. I just need to be able to use magic and feel comfortable and calm.
Yeah. Araceli's kind of a mermaid kid, although in this
Little
world,
bit.
mermaids are terrifying. And real. Yeah. So doing some sick flips, some dolphin shit. Every time that you dive into the water, it's this strange sort of sensory break, right? Because the sound deafens but also intensifies in a different way. It's that pressure around your ears. It's the that deprivation that you get, as opposed to being above the waves where the wind is constantly whipping about your ears. And there has to be this connection that windcallers have to the breeze, to the squall about them, that I have a feeling that the wind maybe talks to you a little bit. On an average day, what would you say the wind tells you? Do you get news? Do you get rumors? Are you hearing words of affirmation? What do you think the wind communicates to Araceli, or the world around her really communicates to her magically?
That's a great question. I've definitely pondered. I think, especially at sea, it's a little bit of like almost like a little gossip, a little chisme that like, that I heard so and so sailor talking this and that. Just little tidbits, like you would almost have overheard it yourself, right? And then usually like with a positive sort of connotation, and that's really what Araceli's kind of clinging to, and then also maybe hoping that they'll hear something from this island, like one of these breezes will be from this island, and they'll learn where Naomi is, and they're just really, I think their mental health is like struggling.
Yeah. Perhaps not helping towards that. You do hear a few things that you don't normally hear. You keep getting these like subtle hisses, whispers on the wind of things like soon, home, so close now. And then you also hear Araceli. You hear some of the words that we the players heard in the last session of you were not summoned. Oh, I can just leave. I can just get myself right out of here. Kind of stuff. The little snarkiness, the stuff that you're like, this isn't the wind just like making up bullshit. Like you can hear Araceli's voice, but you can also hear the distress in it.
I think Araceli's definitely like, I failed her. Like I should have gone in first and not put her in danger. I think they're very like, nobody else is there. They're just, it's like, whatever this is not my problem, but like I'm going to make sure that no one else gets harmed. Probably. Well, I mean, we are going to a cursed island, but I will do my best for nobody else to get harmed.
What is your courage score?
That's a great question. It is 17.
Great. You take heart. You are not dissuaded or deterred necessarily in this moment, but you do feel like this tug on your heartstrings for just a second, where it is that concern, that anxiety for your friend, for your crew, for your own safety, for the unknown fate that awaits all of you. Lucy, what would you be up to?
So, still reeling from my absolutely great first impression of Captain Stuffs on day one, I have decided that, most of my crew has worked with me for a while. So I'm going to focus this solely on the new folks, the 6 new folks, especially since 2 of them I didn't actually ask to be part of my crew. That was Naomi's shtick. So I think I am going to spend the first couple days challenging them to duels, whether that be with the sword or with fists. I think just to kind of prove that I can actually do what I can actually be a captain, but also kind of put it up as a front to like, well, we don't really know how well you can be in a fight, and we know that there's stuff out there to fight, so let's test you and see how well you can do.
Okay. I love the idea of a captain greeting crew by beating them up. Um,
Not
let's
beating them up, be like, let's test your metal kind of
right.
thing.
It's not an
it's like
outright
an
fight.
exam.
It's a controlled duel. Absolutely. Okay. Let's just call this. Let's just do a melee roll for all of them. Let's see kind of like in what mood Lucy is kind of feeling. Let's go ahead. You can have one reroll if you would like for this, because this is also controlled, and you are in like a controlled setting for all of this.
I got a 16.
16, great. Where would you be having this? I'm assuming
Just up
not
on the deck.
On the deck. Okay. I was gonna say while it's raining. Perfect. Okay. Waterlogged, rain all about. I always think of that scene, and I think the third Pirates of the Caribbean, when like, Will and what is her name get married and it's raining all around.
Miss Swan.
Elizabeth, yeah, Miss Swan, thank you. Swords, fisticuffs, your other sailors kind of, going about their duties, but also pausing from time to time, making a little fight circle as their captain is, either, well, with the 16, pretty decent, maybe taking a few hits here and there, but doling out some good. It's a good show. So you go to duel with Randolph Knox, Archer Hill, Barclay Smith, Dixie Hayes, Dmitry Petrov, and Stanford Fletcher. Randolph is half decent. Actually, let me go ahead and I'll do some rolls for each of them to see kind of where they end up and see how they would stand up. Randolph actually, I'm sorry, got a 21. So with Saber, Randolph is a little more skilled than maybe you might have given him credit for. He's a very unassuming individual. Has his coat that's very rain drenched right now. The tunic. He's wearing a little like glass ball vial maybe on a leather thong around his neck. Otherwise, very short cropped hair, short cropped beard, but seems to be very capable with a sword. And while he does no damage to you, because that's kind of set in what the expectation is, he is able to hold his own quite handily against you. Archer, on the other hand, okay, only got a 12 on that. I will say that with a 16, you're able to disarm Archer a couple of times, and he's getting a little frustrated at some point, and he says, "Miss, I'll be honest, I am more of a marksman than anything else. I never trained with any of these. But my family didn't have money to afford this sort of thing, but we had money for guns to hunt, and so I'm half decent at a range, but I wouldn't put me against nobody hand or anything. So put some targets out. I'll happily show you what I'm capable of."
And if you think your targets are actually going to stand still like a target out in the range, then you're sorely mistaken. Get on back to your post now.
Amen. Barclay and Dixie. Wow, Barclay rolled a 10, Dixie rolled a 5. Barclay looks at you and goes, "Now, I understand you're my captain. I ain't going to fight you none, but I will fight that bitch over there." And he's pointing to Dixie, because I got something to prove on this one. And Dixie's just looking at him. She goes, "You got something to prove?" "Well, I'm right here, you son of a bitch. I'm right here. You want to do something, do something." And he just looks at you and he goes, You gonna bring this on board?"
You signed a contract when you onboarded on a ship, so that means you're gonna follow the contract. Now, you want to prove your mettle against this lass over here, then by all means, be my guest, but I take whoever's more brave and willing to do the fighting.
He goes, yeah, you hear that? You signed a contract. And he goes to walk over to her and puts like his fists up. I re-rolled for Dixie. She kicks him right between the legs, and as he goes down on his knees, she clocks him in the side of his face. And she goes, good enough?
I'll nod.
I think as Araceli is just gonna walk by, like, just kiss already and leave, and just like just a.
So you have Barclay just like on the side of his face, like a tooth pops out. He goes, kiss my ass, more like. Dimitri steps up and he looks at his hands and he goes, I am half decent with these, but I'm not a big fan of using the sword of any sort. I'm more of a. He looks around and he grabs a deck axe, one of the larger kind of like hatchet style axes meant for cutting ropes very quickly. Because I am pretty good with this. And he kind of flips it around, puts it over his shoulder. Work for you?
You know what? I think if that's Dimitri's attitude, I will shove the cutlass into the deck boards so that it's standing straight up.
Mm-hmm.
I will remove my captain's coat and I will roll up my sleeves. And could I re-roll for a brawn check?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. $27.
Great. Are you looking to wrestle, fight, or did you want to arm wrestle as you're rolling up your sleeves?
Oh,
what was your intention? Are you just gonna punch him? Okay. Yeah. You walk up to him. He had rolled a 21, and so as you walk up to this, as we've described, Lucy is a little more diminutive. This
I'm
tall.
short. You can just say it, Derek. I'm short, so we
I
can
like
call
the word
Lucy short.
diminutive. It sounds more polite. I don't know. You walk up to this bear of a man and like maybe reach up just a little bit on your tiptoes, but get like right under the chin, and you hear like a snap, and it's not coming from you. And he reels back a little bit, and Stanford kind of catches him and falls down behind him. And he looks up. Barclay is still on the ground over there. He looks over. Not that bad. Ow. Shit. Oh, that was pretty good. Yeah. Okay. You know what? No fair fights. That is good. You had my admiration before, my respect now, and also a little bit of my fear. So, hi. And he looks back to Stanford. He goes, "Can you get me one of those pickles she kicked over earlier?" Stanford just stands up. He goes, "I'm half decent. I'm fine. I don't really want to do this. I only have a few teeth, and I'd like to keep what's left of them until they fall out on their own. Thank you."
Like I wipe the now sopping wet hair from my face. Just say, "You denying an order from your captain, then?"
No. Shit.
I'm gonna turn to the crew. Do we allow cowards on this ship?
You hear a resounding like, "No." Everyone go ahead and give me an accuracy check.
Oh boy.
Oh no! Why? I'm here.
Oh boy.
Kayn and Araceli, I'm sorry for whatever's about to come because it's probably my fault.
Oh no.
21 for me because I can't add. There we go.
Great.
No
21.
comments about what I do for a living.
Yeah, 2 5s, a 4, a 6, and a +1 for accuracy. That's 21, right? I math correctly.
Yeah.
Job, Val.
19 again for Kayn.
Great. You all feel a jolt on the ship. Like, it's kind of like if you were in the car and you hit the brakes very sharply. You all are able to maintain your footing as you kind of hear this like soft crack, like a cracking of wood right before that. And so you're like hyper aware as you have your sea legs on. A few of the sailors jolt a little bit. You see Dimitri slides a little bit with Stanford behind him on this otherwise soaking deck. Um, and it's this hollow kind of crunching noise that sounds like it came from under the water or maybe even in the hold of the ship as it kind of reverberates and echoes through the wood of the ship. And Stanford looks around and goes, "Anyone else hear that? I'm not making excuses."
You said it sounded like something hit the ship.
Maybe you're not exactly sure. You felt a jolt in the ship, but the ship has continued to move, so it would make sense that maybe like you hit a reef and it cracked, or it's not like you hit a sandbar because then you would have definitely heard a longer, like drawn out kind of crunching noise, much like when the ship in our first episode beached itself, that kind of grinding on wood on sand. This was like a snapping of boards, and as you're keeping an ear out for it, you hear again another like sharp, like almost like a soft crack of thunder, just deep within the boards of the ship, and you kind of feel this slight reverberation. It's coming from previously it was coming from what you would assume to be port. This time it's very clearly coming from starboard.
I feel like I probably lock eyes with Araceli at first to see like what maybe this has something to do with, their problem. But their problem, we're just gonna continually refer to it as just a point. But at the same time, I'm also gonna call up and be, to Kayn, who I know is still sitting up in the crow's nest with Guppy.
Can Araceli sense anything or hear anything in the wind? Like get a hint? What?
Go ahead and let's make an observe roll for that. And then Kayn, if you want to make a actually we'll carry on your accuracy roll because that was a pretty good one. Kayn, you look down as Lucy shouts up, and with the rain kind of coming from above and just kind of smattering the sea. Again, the waves are very choppy. The rain kind of creates this strange mirage effect on the water itself. But as you look down, you can see these two dark shapes moving on either side of the ship. Something that are larger than a person, and it at first almost looks like a large jellyfish or octopus, maybe, as you see like these tentacles kind of writhing with one another. It almost looks serpentine at first before you realize that they are disjointed, connected at a central point, and then they seem to be pushing closer towards the ship and kind of undulating a little bit towards or onto the ship itself. And then Val, what was your roll for Abjure?
19.
19. I think what you hear on the wind are, let's see. I think in addition to the cracking of wood, you would hear the word danger beneath.
Great. I think Araceli will basically repeat that to Lucy, like there's something down there.
Without missing a beat, I will grab my cutlass out of the deck. I'll raise it into the air and go, All right, lads, time to prove yourself. We got danger underneath the sea. Let's go.
They all just kind of look around. Yeah, where are we going?
I get fucking hopeless. Get to your stations, boyos, now.
You yell that,
Sorry.
and somebody goes to the alarm bell. It starts ringing frantically, ding, 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 and all of the sailors begin going for their swords, going for pistols, rifles, the deck axes. Yeah, they go to their stations. I will say that. Actually, here we'll leave it up to a dice roll.
Oh dear.
That's always a fun sentence from your GM.
Yep, it is. Really is.
Okay. So who would that be? Barclay gets up, and he's still like, he's got a little bit trickle of blood coming out from the side of his mouth, and he's looking around. He goes, "Well, shit, I don't even know where the goddamn, what even is it anyway?" And he goes walking over to the gunnel, to the railing, and he looks over the side, and he turns back and goes, "Shit, I can't even see nothing." And the tentacle reaches up like a starfish arm and wraps around him and pulls him into the water. And you hear just the softest scream right before a splash. And you start to see these tentacles reaching up now, several of them. Again, less like tentacles, more like starfish limbs, and pulling themselves onto the ship. And just as the starboard side is doing that, the port side begins to mirror it, almost as another one of these creatures is reaching up over the side as well. Let's go ahead and roll for initiative.
I think our initiative is baked in. It's less.
You're right. That's right. Thank you. I always
Yeah.
forget that. Okay. Let's do... Let's try this one. There we go.
It's always great when
And
you can call an NPC death before it happens. It's like, oh,
oh
you're
yeah,
gonna die.
The way
Don't
we were
have to
all
roll
like,
for
oh,
it.
he did.
Yeah.
that asshole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Let's turn that down a little bit. Okay. So, what are initiative scores? Just so I can keep the order here.
Mine is 10.
Kayn is 12.
13.
Oh, that's really nice. Okay. These things have initiative of 11. So, let's see. It was 13 for Araceli, and then it was 12 for Kayn, and then these things, and then Lucy. Cool.
Oh, I'm not even gonna share what they are, Derek. How cool.
You'll find out in just a moment. Araceli, you were up first. These things are pulling themselves onto the deck of the ship now. Again, these things are categorized as bloated. So we were kind of talking about this off stream. The size categories are tiny. I don't believe they're small. They might be small, but it's tiny, human, bloated, large. So these things are just about 10 feet across, probably about twice the size of an average human in an overall, cubism. That's probably not the right word. But yeah, if you think these things are about twice as wide, twice as tall, twice as deep, in the three dimensions as an average person might be, they very much do resemble something like a starfish, as they have these elongated limbs, more of like one of the thinner kind of starfish than the chunky ones. But there's many more limbs to them than just the standard 5. And you hear the crunching of wood as these things are pulling themselves. They seem to have hooks in these appendages that are digging into the wood and raking at it. And you also see that as it crests up over, it has a central beak mouth that has just for a moment, a hand stick out of it before it fully consumes that. What would you like to do for your turn?
I don't. I'm a one-hit wonder here in that I have one cool ability, and that's slashing light.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm just gonna be a little anime character where you do like the samurai sword thing. That's literally what it says. You make a fist down across your hip as if grasping the hilt of a sword. And with a swift movement, you slash upwards and across, seemingly nothing in your hand. And your target is hit with the slash of a sword that never existed, but is honed and sharpened out of light itself. So
Yeah,
we're
it's
like,
weird. It
this
says
is
just
that.
like an anime character in
Yeah,
there. That's
just
wild.
like that samurai move. You're right.
Yeah.
You're just
Like
like
an
a
anime
slash
character.
across. Yeah. Just like an
They don't
anime.
even realize they've been cut until it's too late.
Exactly.
Yeah, your casting number is 6, so you just need to roll Abjure, get higher than a 6.
2 5s, 2 6s. That's like 23.
Yeah, you're great.
No, more than
Uh,
that.
okay, so you may cast as a single target. If successfully cast, you hit a target within medium range, inflicting 4 burning damage. So you inflict 4 burning damage on this thing. Um, let's see. Anything else you want to do for your turn?
Um, does Araceli, does they, I guess, like, can they sense anything? Are these related to the island that we're heading towards? Or are these just weird guys trying to murder us in the ocean?
We can do just kind of a free roll for this. Actually, if everybody would like to do this, let's call this either seafaring or harness or even studies.
It's like a 17.
Okay. Which
20.
skill did you use, Val?
No, wait, seafaring. I have one more point. Just
So 18 in seafaring.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody get higher than that?
I
I'm
got
about
a-
to do that.
20. I used harness.
Okay.
If that matters.
Okay.
21 in harness.
Nice.
Okay. So Val, what you would recall is that these things are called ship eaters. They are nasty creatures that are like giant eldritch mutated barnacles. They attach themselves to ships, they bore holes into them, and then they drag whatever food they can out of those holes in the ship. So, much like an octopus might eat some sort of shelled creature, these things kind of treat ships as like the shells with the soft, squishy sailors inside. For Abhishek and Dax, for Kayn and Lucy, you would know that the origin of these things is kind of weird. It's unknown. A lot of speculation is that these are kind of combinations of mythos energies that mutated nautiluses, whatever the plural of that is. So these things seem to have like sort of a shell-like external structure to the outside of them, the inside of the arms where the hooks are, being a little more exposed but still deadly in their own right. But their name is well earned as they typically, again, attach themselves to the quote soft underbelly of a ship and use their tentacle-like arms to pull whatever they can into the inky depths. So that is what you get from them. You know that these things have a lot of grabbers and are typically pretty hungry, but likely not necessarily attached to the island anyway. You're in the Devil's Triangle. There's weird shit out here, and this is just one of the weird things that you're going to encounter. Could have encountered a number of things likely. So, with that, there we go. King, what would you like to do for your turn?
Let's see. I think I'm going to also cast a spell.
Okay.
I will have Kayn do from where he is. He still has to kind of climb down. I think I don't know if Kane's already climbed down from the crosses at this point, or if he's still there. But
That can be up to you.
Kayn- Yeah. I think I'll say he's probably climbed down by now. I think I'll activate this spell called I'll use the spell called Spiked Dart.
Okay.
So I'll pretty much aim for one of the grippers that are grabbing the ship.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's do that. Oops. Spell number is 7.
So yeah, you just need to do a harness roll of 7 or higher.
1, 5, 8, 13, 16. Yeah, 16
Okay.
on the harness
Yeah.
roll. So yeah.
Okay, what's this look like?
So essentially, Kayn will sort of like essentially put his hands like sort of together as if he's like and then just open up his palms and like a sort of like weirdly magically shaped dart. It's not exactly like a physical dart. It's more like like a magical dart of like weird ethereal eldritch energy just sort of shoots out from his palm and latches onto the tentacle.
Yeah. You do that, and why don't you go ahead and roll me a d6 for the damage? This will be vicious damage, and then it will do a brawn save for potentially another set of damage to that.
Ooh, 6.
Great. Okay, 6 points of damage. It brawn save needs to beat a 12. It rolled a 17, so it does not take that additional damage, but still 6 is pretty hefty for this thing. Great. Okay. It is this creature's turn. It is, let's see. It has 3 attacks. So it is going to take an attack on Kayn. Did you come down from the crow's nest, or are you shooting from above?
He probably would have. I think the spell description said it has to be in short range. I want to say medium range. So he probably would have had to climb down. I think at least a little bit. So, yeah.
Okay, great. In that case, we'll do a lash attack on Kayn. It's going to have a -2 to hit. So that's only an 8. I don't believe that hits Kayn's melee.
No.
Or, yeah.
Evasion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Evasion, thank you. Okay, so that's that one. Then we're going to do a hooked beak bite on Araceli. That's a 21, so I believe that will likely hit Araceli. So Araceli, you're going to take 6 slicing damage from that, and then this thing is also going to latch on to Araceli. So let's see. That's 2 to hit. Okay, so it's going to attempt to. Let's see. There we go. It's a 15 to your evasion. Does that hit?
No, I have 16.
Okay. So it attempts to grab you with a tentacle after biting you with this beak. You've gotten up close to slash it. And so it slashes at you, tries to get a tentacle around your ankle, and you're able to pull your foot out of it before the noose tightens on that one. The other one is going to take its attacks. So coming from the other side of the ship, Lucy, kind of structuring out where everybody is, I'm going to say that you're probably the closest one to this thing, and so it is going to take a lash attack and try to latch on to you. That's only it's only a 9 for the lash attack. I don't imagine that hits.
Nope.
But that is a 23. Sorry, an 18 for the latch on. Is an 18 hit?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to take 1 slicing damage. You are now officially mechanically attached to the target. So you will move within an arm's length of the target if it moves. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. So This thing has kind of wrapped around your waist, up to your shoulder, kind of like almost like a sash around you, and is beginning to tighten very much like a constrictor snake might about you. Um, let's see. It is going to then pull you in for a hooked beak bite, which will give it one reroll just in case. Let's go ahead and reroll one of those because I did get 2 ones. So that's 10, 15, 16.
How much damage do I take from that?
Yeah, that is. So that's. I'm sorry. That's actually a 19 hit. That's 6 slicing damage for that.
Okay.
That is it for these ship eaters' turns. So we are up to Lucy. It is your turn.
Okay. Gee. All right, so I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So when I cast a spell and it's like an attack thing, like it does whatever damage, does that count as taking the attack action? I would assume so, but
That's a good question. I think so. Let me see if I can find any specificity otherwise. But I'm going to presume yes.
okay. I
Let's
couldn't
see.
find anything, but always good to check
Yeah, let's see. Let's look at.
because I have an important reason for asking. So
Oh, I'm sure you do. Let's see. Here's. You can cast a spell for an action. So I think, okay, combat actions on a character's turn, they can take 2 actions. They can take these actions in any order, and most can be combined and broken, where able, for example, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So you can take 2 of the following combat actions. Move, attack, cast a spell, reload, or hold. So you can attack and cast a spell. You just can't, if you shoot a gun, you can't reload. You can't hold an action, you can't move if you do the attack and cast a spell.
peachy. So the way you described that I am currently being restrained by this thing means I can move my arms. So, the first thing I think I am going to do, how close are Araceli and Kayn to me right now? Would you say?
I'd imagine they're within medium distance from you. You're just on one side of the ship, they're on the other. I think that's upwards of 25 feet tops.
Okay. All right. Then, and then the nearest other. So then that would mean that the nearest other of these things is medium range as well.
Yes.
Okay. Great. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to try and cast some coral barbs on the thing on the other side that is currently attacking my crew.
Okay.
So that is a seafaring type casting. So that's a meter beat of 9, I think, right?
Yeah, I can double check that, but I'm sure you got it.
Because it's the casting number is what I got a meter beat, right?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, you're Seafaring 9, correct.
All right, so I have an 18.
Great. Yeah, cast your coral barbers.
Great.
Your capybaras.
My capybaras. Gonna just extend a hand, and I think that these little bright pink, just like coral reef barbs, are gonna shoot from my fingertips and lodge themselves into this starfish creature. Now it says this takes 3d3 slashing damage. So 1, 2. There it is. I'm like, I know I have another d6 around here. All right. Peachy. It's gonna take 6 slashing damage, and it has to make a target number 12 brawn save.
Okay.
And
And
if
you
it
are attacking
fails,
the
it's
one
a-
that's holding you, right?
No, this is the one that's across the way because this is
great.
a medium
Okay.
range spell.
Yeah. Great. Okay. In that case, let's go ahead and do that roll. That is a failure.
Yay,
What is
so
your
it's going to
additional
take
damage?
1d6 corruption damage. So
Yeah.
do I roll for that or do you? Hi, Cinna!
Hi, Senna. You are welcome to roll if you'd like.
Okay.
I never want to take the damage out of your hands. You all are fully capable.
hopefully she is being heard. Real quick, I'm just going to interrupt this to say that there is a Cinna counter every time that Cinna can be heard on stream. I will donate $1 for every scream that she makes. So if anybody in chat would like to meet me with that, the counter will keep us honest as to how much to donate. All right.
If
so
I did that for
is-
every time the bird squawked or the dog barked, I would be poor. Poorer.
It's all, for a good cause.
That's true.
Um,
That's true. You're very true.
All right. So that will be 4 corruption damage on this thing.
This thing
then-
had 4 hit points left. If you would like to describe how you fell this ship eater.
So I mentioned that I extend my fingertips and these barbs go pew 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 and like shoot out at this thing. I think like it very much is just it hits at all the pressure points and this thing just like falls over the railing and you just hear this curse splash as this massive body hits the ocean. I am then going to take my cutlass, which is already drawn, flip it and stab behind me at the creature that is restraining me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's slicing damage. That would be what, melee that I gotta roll?
Right.
Okay. Hello. All right, so that is going to be 18. To hit.
An 18 does, that beats its evasion.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So that'll be 3 slicing damage, but because I hold a grudge, I can make an additional attack because I
Yeah.
made an attack action. So I'm going to do it again.
So angry.
I made this captain to fight, and she hasn't gotten into any combat so far, so another 18.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll take another 3 slashing damage.
Another 3. Okay. Great. Slashing from behind, taking out the compatriot of the ship eater, and hearing that splash, the sailors give out a cheer. You see that your sailors are engaged with another one at the bow of the ship that is cresting over, and so while you 3 are dealing with these, we'll say that your sailors are not doing nothing. There's several of them that are trying to hold the sails down as the wind is whipping at them. Several of them have taken to fighting another 1 or even 2 that are cresting over the ship at this point. But you don't have to worry about those at this moment. Let's go back to top of the order with Araceli. The one in front of you has been felled, but you see that Lucy is attached to the one at the other side of the ship now.
So I forgot I took Elder Sign because I thought this was cool, but I don't fully comprehend this this ability.
Let's see.
So it's you may cast this spell at any point within medium range. So does that basically include adjacent to where Lucy is, like where the daddy is? Can I?
Yeah, this uses just like general ranges of, so like close would be you right up next to somebody or within like, a step or 2. Medium would be I could do a quick sprint and get there. Absolutely, you could run pretty quickly from one side of the ship to the other.
Can I inscribe this directly on the evil ship eater thing, or do I have to put it adjacent to? How technical is that? Or
Let's
where
see.
can
Reach
I
forward and trace
inscribe this?
something. There's a sound of something growing. The image is highlighted in white on your target, giving off a soft light. You may cast a spell at any point within medium range. Another sign is inscribed on that point. It comes within short range of the altar sign. It doesn't say that it has to be. It says it can. It's just a target. You could reasonably put it on this thing. Sure.
Right. So if I inscribe it directly on it, it'll for sure go off, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna do that.
Such a cool ability.
Yeah, I was like, I
Okay,
took
so
this
this
because it
is-
looked
It's
cool, but
very
then
cool.
I forgot how to do it.
So this is studies casted number 8.
That's 3 threes of 5 plus 2 studies.
Yeah, you're perfectly fine on that. um, okay, so you're inscribing an elder sign, a glowing, highlighted in white elder sign that is inscribed onto like the flesh of this thing,
Yeah,
right?
preferably if I could manage it. I don't know how, but like in a way that would get it off of Lucy, basically. I don't
Okay,
know.
maybe at like the junction point where the tentacle meets the rest
Yes.
of the body. Okay, great. This thing has a new little glowing tattoo. So on its turn, it will do the harness save. It's a target number 18 harness save. Okay. Anything else you'd like to do for your turn?
Um. mm, no, I think I'll. Well, wait. Who's injured? Is anyone? I
I
think Lucy's
believe
injured.
Lucy is
I'm injured.
injured,
I know.
and you're injured. Yeah.
How many hit points does Lucy have?
I have. I look more than halfway good.
Oh, okay.
Mechanically, I have 13 out of 20. But
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I'm
I
healing
think Lucy
myself.
looks fine. Yeah.
I have way less than you. 10 out
Yeah,
of 60.
that's okay. That's why I was like, I look fine.
You're good. Okay. Yeah, can I do what is it? Healing balm on myself? I think. Can I heal myself? Hold on, I forgot.
Yeah.
I think you can.
We talked about how last time you can touch yourself. That's something that's totally fine in this game.
Phrasing.
Okay. Love that. It is good to touch yourself.
Physician, heal
sometimes.
thyself. It's
Anyway. Oh gosh. Okay, let me roll. Oh, that's definitely more than an 8. That's like 2 6s and a 3 and a 1.
Yeah.
Plus whatever Abjure is.
you did it. Yeah.
Math.
Math. It's fun, kids. All right. So 2 spells then. Let's go to Kayn.
Okay. I think seeing that, I guess Lucy's still in trouble. I think Kayn will sort of move closer to it. I think he's gonna go ahead and try to tentacle whip this thing. Honestly.
Okay.
So yeah, okay, he'll cast the tentacle whip spell on this.
Mhm.
So just sort of roll, make sure I actually can do this, but yeah. Beat an 11. That is 2, 7, 8, 12, 15 on the roll.
15 just hits.
Nice. Okay. Alrighty, so it will. So it's gonna take 2d6 of vicious damage, and it's gotta do a TN14 bronze save to.
Okay.
Otherwise, it takes additional 5 corruption damage.
Cool.
We'll roll on that. 4 on the damage for the dice.
All right. Takes that damage, and then on the dice, got a 17, and then bronze score is 4. So it does exceed on the bronze save.
Yeah, that's fine. Damage
Okay.
is damage.
Damage is damage. Anything else you'd like to do for your turn?
No. Yeah. I think it's pretty much what he can do at the moment.
Cool. All right. Lucy, you're going to take another point of slicing damage. And this thing is going to try another hooked beak bite. See if you can take a bite out of crime. Or, well, you're not exactly crime. Bite out of captain. You're more like a Captain Crunch than a Anyway, I'm mixing my mascots. Okay, so this will be a +3 to hit, and
Oh, what about my
that's a
elders?
19.
Yeah, it's gonna hit.
Yeah. So another 6 points of slicing damage, and then this thing is going to take a. Let's see. Oh, I guess I can do that to anybody. Cool. It's going to take a lash attack at Kayn, and then it is going to try to. Actually, just want to double check this. Okay, so can't do that. Cool. Okay, it's going to take a lash attack, and it's going to try to latch on to Araceli. So let's do the lash attack. Oh, that's only a 4. That's not going to hit Kayn. The latch on is only a 12. I don't believe that hits Araceli. So it will maintain its hold on Lucy. But Kayn, Araceli, you avoid those hits for this round. That is it for this thing's turn.
What
Lucy,
about
it is your
the
turn.
Elder Sign? I thought it
Yes,
was
I'm
supposed to
sorry.
go
You're
off.
right. It needs to do a roll for that. Thank you for reminding me.
1 to 2 take damage.
There's an 18 on the die, so I believe it does succeed on that for this round.
Okay.
So you watch the Elder Sign kind of like sizzle and burn a little bit, but this thing, whether by its eldritch nature or not, is able to avoid whatever kind of burning damage is coming from this thing. You do kind of
Takes
like
6
go
burning
ahead.
damage even if it passes.
Oh, even if it passes, great. What's the burning damage?
6.
6 burning damage.
12 if
All
it fails.
right. Cool. In that case, then it smells a little bit like a low country boil, and you see this thing kind of like sizzle and pop at the tentacle. Because it did succeed, I'm going to say the tentacle does not detach from it, but this thing seems to kind of being it's being cooked from the outside a little bit here. Lucy, it is your turn.
Okay. Um. I'm gonna stab it again. Make my attack with my cutlass from. Let's see. All right, that is going to be a 17.
Yeah, 17 will do it.
Okay, great. So I'll take another 3 slicing damage, and I get to attack again because of my Bolts of Grudge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna use my nudge and pop that up to another 17 because I don't know if 16 is gonna hit. So I know 17 does, so I'm gonna use my nudge and go for
Perfect.
that. That'll be another 3. Is this sting still kicking?
It's not.
Oh, good.
I wouldn't be so relieved.
Okay.
You are
Oh,
still
no.
attached to this thing.
That's okay. I think I'm gonna stab it. I hear it, like, make its dying breath, and then like I kind of like shimmy and shake a little bit and realize this thing is attached.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's close enough, but there is this deep, heavy sigh, like very exasperated. And then I think what I am going to do is I'm gonna use my actually Kayn moved in a little closer.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to, without moving, I'm going to cast Stinger on Kayn.
Okay.
Can cast this spell on yourself or an ally within short range. If successful, the target gains a Stinger weapon. So I think I have a 1 in Seafaring. I do. Okay.
Okay. I do want to throw something out there real quick before we roll the dice on this.
Yeah.
Much as we described the first one being struck and going over the side, you start to feel a pull on you as it has these hooked barbs of these
Oh,
tentacles
no.
wrapped around you, and it begins to lurch backwards as well. I don't want you to go overboard without, like, you have a second
No, it's
action.
okay. Maybe that's what triggers me to go like, Kane's close enough.
Okay, fair enough. So, Lucy, you get this last moment to cast this spell right before you are going to plunge into the inky depths along with the rest of this thing. Go for it. Yeah, your stinger.
So it goes off because I rolled a 13 and I needed to meter beat a 5. So, Kayn, you're going to get a stinger weapon. And I think what you see is you just see, like, me extend a hand out to you. And this, like, gray, wispy smoke just comes shooting out at you. And it almost smells like honey. And then all of a sudden, I fall backwards overboard with this thing.
And you all hear a heavy, thunderous splash as you witness your captain being dragged overboard by the lifeless body of a ship eater. And that's where we're going to go ahead and take our break. So, that was bottom of the order anyway. We're at the hour-and-a-half mark. We're going to go ahead and start our giveaway when we come back. This is a giveaway for a free PDF copy of Cursed Captains of Cthulhu from Black Cats Gaming, written by James Barry. You can enter to win with hashtag or # if you're old enough, cursed, in the chat there. So best of luck to all of you. We'll be back in about 10 to 15. Stick around, enjoy our ad reel. Please support any of our wonderful affiliates, and please donate to Lambda Legal to spice up this game. We've got one more session after this, so it's a perfect time to do it. Stick around. We'll be right back. Vast and welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Cursed Captains of Cthulhu, our penultimate episode. We are still technically in turn order here as the captain of the unnamed to be determined who needs a name anyway ship has gone overboard with the lifeless body of a ship eater, an eldritch being similar to a mixture of some sort of strange mutation of a nautiloid and an octopus and a starfish, weird barbed tentacles, and the sort of a shell-like carapace on the exterior, but wrapped in one of those barbed tentacles, Lucy has gone overboard. So with that in mind, let's go back to top of the order. Araceli, you can see that your crew of your ship are fending off at least 2 more of these things at the bow and stern of the ship, respectively. But you have also seen that Lucy has gone overboard and is presumably sinking into the inky depths. What would you like to do?
Can I cast water breathing on Lucy? It says I can cast it on myself or any creature within arm's reach.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Also, apologize, the music was so loud right away. This is water breathing, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
I wish to make Lucy a mermaid for 1 hour.
Well, you don't want to do that in this game because, again, mermaids are fucked up. Okay. So, seafaring, incantation, variety of effects, blah, blah, blah. Diaphanous slits. Oh, that's a great word. In some cases, on yourself or any creature within arm's reach. So, as described, Lucy is beyond arm's reach now because Lucy has gone overboard. You would have to dive in after Lucy and potentially do a little bit of swimming to get within arm's reach of her because this is a close spell. You can use your movement to do that, and then we would probably consider that I'd probably consider that a brawn roll to determine how good your swimming is to potentially reach Lucy to do that. Is that something of interest in doing?
Yes, I have the deep diver skill as well, which means I don't take damage. I can basically go to a certain depth. I didn't fully read it, but yeah, I have the deep diver skill. So yeah, I'd like to jump in and try and cast this on her so she doesn't drown.
Yeah, ideally. Okay, so Araceli, you dive overboard past the gunwale, putting your arms together, ever so elegant, dolphin-like. You dive into the choppy waves. You can see the silhouette of your captain, of Lucy, just sinking further and further. This bloated creature holding onto her as bubbles escape from her mouth. You know that she can hold her breath for a period of time, but as she sinks lower and lower, that time decreases significantly with the pressure. And it seems like you are not in the shallows here. This is a deeper part of the ocean. So with your swim speed, you are able to catch up just within that arm's reach, just the fingertips touch, to get to Lucy, and go ahead and roll for your spell.
Okay, I'm sure this will be great. And nothing bad will happen here. Oh, that's 2 6s, and a 3 and a 4. That actually is
great.
Pretty good.
Yeah, seafaring of 7 or higher, you absolutely beat that. Okay, Lucy, as this magic just transfers, again, almost like Sistine Chapel-esque, the concentration of arcane energy between fingertips, diaphanous slits, again, great word, appear on your neck, or a large bubble of oxygen appears around your mouth or head. I think the second one's funnier.
Slits, but
that's fair. Yeah. In some cases, this effect is more subtle, creating a membrane in the throat, which filters and oxygenates water. But you suddenly find yourself able to process the oxygen in the water around you as these gills open up on the side of your neck, and slightly frilled and fleshy. You begin to process the oceanic water around you, pushing out the salt and negative aspects of oceanic water. But you are still wrapped in this thing.
Can I attack, or is that my only move?
That was movement and a spell, so those
Okay.
are your two things there. Kayn, what would you like to do? You have your special weapon now too.
New stinger, yeah.
Yeah.
I think seeing as how Araceli has dived in after Lucy, I think I do feel confident kind of leaving that situation up to them. Listen, Kayn will probably help out the other crew members with dealing with the other, Nautilus's, I don't know the plural for it, but the other ones that are attacking the ship, he'll help out. He'll help the rest of the crew defeat them.
Yeah. Go for it.
All right. You know what? Since I was gifted the stinger, why not put it to use? I just need to figure out what exactly it does.
It is on 136 in the PDF, if that helps.
Thank you, Dax. And the plural of nautilus is either nautiluses or nautili. Both forms are considered correct.
Ah,
I think it's like octopus. The plural of octopus is technically octopuses, or even octopoids. I think if you're going by the Greek. Anyway, that's not what we're doing here.
okay. Target gains a stinger weapon. Okay. So what damage does the stinger weapon do?
That is the question, isn't it? Sorry, probably should have
Found it.
found it. Okay, good.
It does 1 corruption damage. Okay, so essentially it just kind of latch it in and lets it stay there, essentially. Okay.
Nice.
So he'll go ahead and stick the stinger into, I guess, the closest one he can get to. So it'll do 1 corruption damage. And if it does any damage to a target, it'll do an additional 1 corruption damage at the end of their turn unless they try to interact to remove it.
Okay.
It's very damage over time kind of deal.
Yeah. You could also throw this. Cool. Okay. So yes, a little bit of extra poison damage courses through this thing, and there we go. Okay. Next up, then, are these creatures. I'm going to say that while they are fighting with the crewmates, you see one of them grabs onto one of your crewmates, and the other ones are kind of hacking at that tentacle to try to release him, try to prevent anybody else from going over. This creature will take 1 lash attack at Kayn. So let's see. The lash is a -2 to hit. And so we're going to roll high regardless. Nah, I think it's only an 11, so I don't think that's going to hit Kayn as another tentacle comes swiping to lash at you with these barbs, but misses. Lucy, it is your turn.
Okay, so I can now breathe underwater.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still attached to this creature. I think
You
I'm
are.
going to first just gesture to Araceli to go back to the ship, and I'm gonna see if I can try and detach this thing. It's got like suckers that are holding me, or the barbs.
They're actually like spiked barbs. I mean, if you think of like an octopus, they have little hooks inside the suckers. This
Okay.
thing doesn't really have those as much. It's more like if cilia were thicker and sharper. They're more like hooks that have kind of dug in very softly to you. I mean, it's definitely causing a little bit of a wound every time, but it's not enough to like pierce anything vital.
That's fine. I was just thinking like pull versus hack. So I think
sure.
I'm gonna just hack it the one of the legs to try and free myself. I can worry about what's attached to me when I get back to the ship.
For sure.
I gotta get rid of this weight. Ooh. Okay. So that's not great.
What's your roll?
I have a 6.
Yes. Maybe because of the depth around you, or the jolt of breathing in a way that perhaps you've never breathed before, or maybe just the resistance of water around you. You go to hack at this limb and you get one of the armored parts of the tentacle that's wrapped around you. And as you're sinking deeper and deeper, you notice that pressure is getting more and more intense. You might be able to breathe, but who knows if you're going to be able to survive the depth pressure as you continue downwards. Okay, you get one
Plus,
more.
I mean, hacking at yourself with a cutlass really is not.
It's not
It's
a
a risky
tool
move.
meant for the job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to take another swipe?
Yes.
Go for it.
You know, I'm switching out dice.
Always a good sign.
Yeah.
How do I roll nothing but ones for 2 rolls in a row?
That's crazy.
So it's another 6. So yeah, it's the pressure's getting to be a lot, and you know, it's one thing to live your life on the sea. It's another to have to be this far below, which is not a normal thing. And I think honestly, part of it also is panic, because I want to make sure that Araceli gets back up to the ship, and I am very concentrated on what I'm doing, and I'm not sure if that's happening. So there's that slight panic where my mind is a little distracted.
Okay. Great. Next up, then we're back to top of the order of Araceli. You've been kind of waved off, but as Lucy continues to drift further and further into the murky depths to where, like, she's just getting to be out of view, you can see her hacking at this tentacle to no avail. And while she's able to breathe, you also know that, like, it's not going to be too much longer before the pressure starts to become a little more intense. Not something that will absolutely kill her, but over time, this is looking pretty perilous.
Is she medium distance away still? Or is it further than that now?
I would consider that, yeah, at the rate that she's sinking, medium distance, yeah.
I'm just gonna slashing light again at the tentacle and hope that cuts it, so she's at least free to get away from the depths and I go back to the ship.
Okay.
Okay. Well, these are great. So that's definitely more than a 6. That's 2 6s and a 2 and a 1. So I definitely made it. Yay.
Nice.
So yeah, can I basically just samurai slash the tentacle anime? Like,
Yeah, it does 6 damage, right?
yes.
Okay. I'm going to say that you slash at the tentacle and it begins to detach slightly. It's still kind of hanging on there just a little bit. You can see that your glyph is also faded as well, as this no longer counts technically as a creature. But kind of quantifying how many hit points a tentacle should be. I'm going to say 6 is close, doesn't necessarily cut it, no pun intended. So Lucy continues to sink further and further. But pretty good start. You've started to chop that tree. Perhaps Lucy would be able to finish up. Did you want to continue swimming downwards after her?
Yes.
Okay.
I know
then-
that they've been told not to, but they're going to put their faith in Kayn. So
It's gonna be a reckoning on deck after this is all done.
Well, because I know it would be embarrassing to come back up to the ship and be like, well, you see, I lost a second person now. So Araceli's not about to let that happen. So yeah, they will follow.
Araceli's plan all along to captain an unnamed ship.
Because that's great
oh
luck.
no, I couldn't save the captain.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Kayn, it is your turn.
Okay. In that case, where did my sheet go? There it is. How is the crew looking, by the way? Like in terms of combating this thing?
I'm gonna say, how many hit points does an average crew person have? Let's see. Like I said, I think one of them has been grabbed.
Okay.
But again, several of them are trying to 6 health. Let me roll here. Let's roll. Judging from where you are, you can see that you have lost 3 crewmates to this thing that have been felled in various bloody forms. And then one of them has been grabbed. Again, the other deckhands and crewmates are hacking at the tentacle of this thing to try to separate it. You imagine that they're going to be able to do that before this thing dies. This thing is looking rough. They have pikes that they are poking at this thing, harpoons. A few of them are firing pistols into this thing. It's looking pretty rough. The other one at the, we'll say, would you go to the front or back of the ship, bow or stern?
Bow, probably.
Okay. The one at the stern seems to be held off pretty significantly as well. You can see that they're maybe faring a little bit better back there, as the creatures is giving out these very unearthly shrieks in pain. But yeah, like I will say, all in all, you probably lost about 3 sailors.
Okay, it's not terrible. Okay. In that case, we'll try and see if we can finish off the one at the bow where he's at. He is going to make a attack with his quarterstaff. So he pull up the attack. Do for that. Alright, so that is a 6, 12, 13, I think. And let me double check what the melee score is. 14, so 14 total in the roll. Derek,
I was muted, I'm sorry. 14 was exactly what you needed.
Oh, go perfect. All right, so I think with his quarterstaff, he's gonna do 2 plus my brawn, which is 4 total.
Okay. That is exactly what you needed. At 4 hit points left. Abhishek, how do you feel this thing?
I think seeing how the other crew members have been like just kind of poking, prodding, and just like slashing, shooting it, like basically like seeing how low it's gotten. I think Kayn just sort of realized, okay, maybe I don't need to use a spell for this. Honestly, it's like it's already low enough. So he just pulls out his unsheathes like his quarterstaff, sorry, from like where he's like storing it on his back essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with a sort of mighty swing overhead, and with a lot more force than what you'd expect some lanky guy like Kayn to be able to put out, absolutely lands like a thunderous sort of like smackdown on this thing, and just wails on it. If it can really he's just like essentially stabbing it, really smacking it, and just beating, tenderizing this thing, for lack of a better word, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you get like the soft spot. This thing doesn't really have eyes that you could really define, but there are sensory organs. So like right next to the beak, you find the sweet spot. Something cracks inside this thing, and you watch it list backwards as the tentacle is severed in that moment, dropping to the deck around the sailor in a limp fashion, and this thing crashes back into the ocean below. Cool. Lucy. Deeper and deeper you go, you notice that the bubbles that you're producing are getting more frantic as you can feel your heart beating faster. You can feel it getting colder, the pressure getting a little bit more intense around you. You still have ability to move, but all you can see is black, inky blackness beneath, and this greenish light above. And Araceli swimming towards you, reaching out but not able to reach fully towards you.
Given the depths, do I take crushing damage?
Not this turn,
Okay.
next turn.
Okay. I'm gonna try and hack at this thing and see if a reroll would be really nice right now. Okay. It's another 6.
Okay. Not enough to cut through this thing.
Yep. I know. I'm very well aware.
Okay. For everyone else,
Counts as an attack action, so I'm gonna go again.
Mhm.
Okay, that's marginally better, but still not good. It's a 7.
7's not going to do it.
Dice go to dice jail.
I have gone through officially all my d6s. Okay, like that is it. Okay. Well,
Okay.
I'm gonna just use a free action, which is not something that's really in the system, and just again try to wave Araceli off. They're not
Okay.
gonna listen, but I'm gonna do it anyway because then if I do survive this, I can yell at them later.
That's fine. Love to be yelled at later if you live.
Oh god.
We're going to push back to that toxic energy, and Araceli, knowing that she doesn't really mean it. What would you like to do for your turn?
I was just gonna slashing light it again. Like,
Yeah, go for it.
Araceli's just frantic at this point.
My dice are like, nope.
Well, my dice are much kinder to me. Yeah, that's more than a 6.
Good.
2 3s, a 2, and a 4. So yeah. Yeah, just the same. Just trying to hack at that one weak point to get through this thing, so
Yeah.
that Lucy can not be crushed by the depths or anything else that's down there.
You sever the tentacle with those 6 hit points. I was giving each of the tentacles 10 hit points. So with 12, you see a flash of light and it severs. I need both of you at this point because we'll be technically out of combat. Give me a brawl roll. I think is probably let's make that a brawl roll.
It's 2 4s, a 5, a 1, and then +1.
Okay. 2 4s, a 5. So that is 13, 14 was your total?
Maybe 15 because it was 2 4s, yeah, a 5, a 1, and then another one.
And another one. So 15. Great.
Yeah.
Dax, what was yours?
8.
8. Okay.
You're dying.
Dax, drifting a little bit further down, Araceli kind of like almost hitting that subaqueous zone. You're able to, maybe by your magical nature, resist a little bit better. Lucy is going to take 3 points of crushing damage. I would like for both of you to also give me an accuracy roll, please.
Shit.
Good news is I am only going to take 2.
That's good.
I like the tone of that's not gonna help you, but go off.
Look, it matters, okay? I took toughen not really knowing what crushing damage was going to be, but I was like, it's fine.
I got all 5s.
You said accuracy, Derek?
Yes, please.
Okay.
That's 22 because I have 2 accuracy.
Great.
9.
Okay.
Look, I got all 2s. We're moving up in the world, okay?
We're doing
getting
great.
there.
Slowly but surely.
Yep.
Lucy, this is a strange environment for you to be in. It's environment that you're not really built for, that you just recently adapted to, and with the crushing like pressure around you, I don't think that you spotted it first. But Araceli, I think you're the one that sees it most because you had the flash of light that would have otherwise illuminated these figures that you just now notice are swarming around you. Humanoid forms, tails, too many to count immediately. If you've ever seen one of those, like, I was gonna say Sharknadoes, but that's another thing. But like how sharks will swim around in their schools and kind of create almost like that funnel of them, you would realize that you are in a funnel of merfolk.
Oh shit. Okay.
I told you to leave. Didn't want to listen. Now we die
So it
together.
begins.
Are they like susceptible to light? Like, does the light make them back off?
It didn't seem to.
Oh, cool. That just illuminated them for me to be scared. Amazing. All right.
Obviously.
Well. Can Araceli just like grab Lucy's hand and just try their little bestest to swim to the ship? Like, using all their little abjure power.
Yeah. I would like for both of you to give me a savvy check. It's target number 18.
Is this against the NPCs?
Yes.
Okay.
3 5s, a 4, and then I have a. How many savvy do I have? I have 3 savvy.
So 19 plus 3, so that's a 22.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a 5.
I'm going
total?
to give you new.
Well, no, that's after I take away the -3.
Okay. Okay.
And that's my dice plus my savvy number. So that's, I have to deduct 3. So I have a 5.
Buying you new dice.
Honestly, yeah.
It's gonna send you a bunch of regular dice, like just D6s. Just gonna send you a
Honestly.
bunch.
I'll just borrow Ren's dice. Ren has a ton of D6s. So I'll just borrow their dice next session just in case.
Your dice are being so mean.
They really
They
are.
really are. No, they know the story to tell, as Kappa likes to say in our game.
Okay. Lucy, I need one more roll from you. This is another savvy roll, or savvy or seafaring, but it is a 16 target number.
No, you're just laughing at that number.
I believe in you. I believe in your
the
dice.
heart of the dice.
Oh, man.
If not, can I roll for her?
So, like, are we allowed to donate rerolls? I will happily
Can
donate
I,
my...
can I
Considering
just
you
do it?
just kind of referenced Yu-Gi-Oh, Joey cannot play cards for Yugi if Yugi's in the middle of a duel. I'm sorry.
Excellent, excellent.
It's not how this works, Kaiba.
How bad do we want me to fail? Because that will determine if we go savvy
What a
or if we go
question.
seafaring.
Oh my
Seafaring,
god.
don't try to fail.
What? No.
No, I'm gonna fail either way. It's just how bad.
Not. Do not.
Seafaring, oh my god.
11.
Okay. What, when it comes to physicality, or perhaps even beyond physicality, what does Lucy find attractive? What is Lucy's type?
Oh, God.
Oh boy.
Oh, I hadn't really considered my character's sexuality. So let's
Well, now's the time.
now is
So-
the time.
When you're dying.
Under pressure.
And it doesn't have to be sexuality. This could be maybe what Lucy finds comforting in a person or approachable.
Okay, that's a different take. Okay.
Yeah. Attraction, not necessarily just sexual attraction or romantic attraction, but just if a person were to approach Lucy, for Lucy to feel most comfortable and welcoming, what would that person's features be?
So I think the most comforted Lucy has ever felt has been with her, probably her granda. So I think like a portly older gentleman with a partially bald head, anybody that kind of fits that description, and if they have a soft voice, often Lucy is more likely to let down her guard out of habit.
Okay. Lucy, you are being dragged upwards by one hand by Araceli, swimming towards the surface, not super aware of the danger that exists around you. You feel a little tug on your other hand that isn't being held by Araceli, and as you look down, you see the most comforting figure that your brain could conceptualize. And it's strange to see them down here. It's almost like the body is static in a way. There's no tail. There's nothing that immediately hits your mind in an odd way, as you can feel this reverberation kind of like putting pressure on the inner parts of your ear. There's this vibration you're perhaps not fully aware of, but it's almost vibrating your eyes in a sort of way. It's this subliminal sort of change to your sensory perception. And as you look down, you see this kindly face that looks up at you with these pleading eyes. I'm so hungry. You've taken from me. I need you to give back. You took 4. We need 4 in return. No more. No less. Please. And there's a little squeeze on your hand that perhaps you don't realize how cold and clammy it is in this cold and dark part of the ocean. And they release, and you have this nagging thought that when you return to the ship, you need to return 4 of your crew to the ocean. And Araceli and Lucy, you are able to swim successfully back to the surface and board your ship. Rain's still coming down. You can only, water can only get so wet. So at a certain point, does it really matter? But returning to the surface, you can see your crew are standing about, haggard looking, many of them having taken injuries, wiping inky blood from their weapons. You can see that Kayn is standing there. Your ship has dropped anchor to make sure that they didn't get too far from the 2 of you. So it's a little distance to reach it. But you do not see much of these creatures. You can see there's a tentacle or 2 that has remained on the deck of the ship. And you can also see that there are 3 bodies that are laid out with sheets covering them on the deck.
I mean, that's almost 4.
Almost for what?
Don't worry about it.
Wait, did Araceli hear that, or did I just hear that?
Only you heard that.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Araceli, you would be
Just kidding.
completely unaware because you succeeded on all the rolls. So while you were focused
dice
on getting
didn't
to the
hate you.
surface, yeah, only Lucy had that experience.
Val, that's 3.
Yes, out of character math.
Math.
Okay. Well, so I think in Lucy's mind, something similar to how Val's thinking, like, that's 3, right? Return 3. And then I think she figures, well, we already lost Barkley, so that's 4. You know. So I know Lucy is not the kind of person that's going to backstab her crew. So I think she'll do what any respectable captain does, and she will, because as captain of the ship, I think that they also have, if I remember right, like certain privileges that would normally be afforded a priest, like being able to marry folks and saying last
Sure.
rites and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think while the rest of the crew is cleaning up and assembling, I think she's going to go over to those three. She's going to perform the last rites, and then she is going to instruct them to be tossed overboard. And while those three are being prepared, I'm gonna go to the gunnel where Barclay was pulled overboard, and I'm gonna kind of do like last rites over that spot as well. And then I'm just gonna whisper, "There's your 4,"
Okay.
and hope that doesn't come back to bite me in the ass.
Dex, for the sake of giving your dice a chance to help you here,
Yeah.
there's no like official rule for this. I'm trying to think how I want to translate this, because I really like what you're doing. The
But
way
there's
that
a
this
cost, yeah.
well, maybe. I
Maybe.
don't necessarily want to impose one because I do like the logic that you and Lucy are applying to this. Technically, 4 of yours did go in the water, and they lost 4. Are they going to count Barclay considering that was like outside of the before they lost 4? Who knows?
Who knows?
We'll find out here. So, because technically this is True Siren Song is the ability that was used. That was the target number 18 savvy check.
Yeah.
So that says if failed, their next turn, the target will take 2 actions the caster directs them to take. We were outside of combat. Technically, you did.
Uh-huh.
I leave it to you if you would like to consider this an abjure, that you would like to essentially create a magical sort of pact seal of I did what you asked, by the book, to the letter, 4 went in the water, like you cannot I repel this evil, you cannot come for me. If you'd like to make this a savvy that you are trying to convince them verbally that listen, I did what you asked. I think those, if you, unless you also wanted to maybe try harness, I think those are the 3 that I could. And harness again would be manipulating the magic in a separate way of I know what you're trying to do to me, and I see it, but I did what you told me. Leave me alone. So I'll leave it to those 3. I don't think I could really necessarily go with melee, brawn.
No, that's absolutely fair.
accuracy or
I will go with harness.
Okay. I'm going to call this. I'm going to call it a target number 18 because that was the original number of the ability.
Just gonna pick out the dice that seem to have been getting higher numbers. Whether they're high or not is a different story, but I go with those.
And you can give rerolls to these players with donations. All donations go to Lambda Legal. It's a fantastic organization. You really can't go wrong. And you can help poor Dex.
No, they wanted to see me die. It's fine. Okay. Harness, I have a 2. I do not have any skills or traits that affect that, so that'll be all I'm adding to this. $20. I got scared when I saw 2 3s, and then I looked at the other dice, and I'm like, oh, thank God.
Wonderful.
Ooh.
Lucy, looking out past the gunnel into the waves, you see just a hand reach out, just this 6-fingered, palmed, webbed hand that reaches out and just closes into a fist and goes beneath the water, and a tail splashes as whatever this creature is seems to dive deeper. And you do not feel any deleterious effects. You don't feel any sort of negative magic about you. And besides the rain and the rocking of waves, everything is just silent.
Araceli is gonna demand everyone get in a friendship circle so that they can healing commune the whole everyone that's left standing. Cause oh my god.
Everybody
We
gets
have
in a
to do it.
friendship circle.
Yeah, everybody's in a friendship circle. This is a bonding for everyone who lived.
It's just like summer camp.
Yeah.
We all sing Kumbaya,
Hmm.
Okay.
but it's what would you do with a drunken sailor because we're pirates.
Oh wow, that casting number is 10. That is high, actually. Oh yeah, no, I'm good. I got a 14.
Great. Okay. A little bit of healing goes all the way around. Um, what would you all like to do now?
How much healing does that give us?
1d3 plus 3 health points, and I'm gonna level with you. I don't know what the hell a d3 is. That's a weird thing.
I rolled a
is.
d6 and divided by 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too much math for my discalculated
Roll a d6
brain.
and I'll do divide by 2.
Okay, thank God, thank you.
You can
don't have to think
also,
about
if you ever want to, you can go to Google and roll 1d3.
Yeah, you can also do that.
It'll let you do that. Yeah.
Really? Well, I rolled a 6, so I love that
So
for
that's
me.
3.
So it'd be a
Yeah.
3.
Okay.
Plus 3. So it's just a 6.
Yeah. It's all right. I'm at half health. That's great.
Yeah.
I will heal you more in a minute.
No, that's fine. Do what you gotta do.
Is everyone else, are all the other members of the crew like not dying?
Yeah, they're all alive, which is not dying. Yeah, the wounds are sealed, and several of them, like I believe most of them only have 6 hit points to begin with. So you've revitalized quite a few of them.
Yay.
Who else did we lose? We lost Barkley. Naomi's gonna be so upset.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to my pirate name generator here. Let's see. You lost Rudd Geronimo. That's a really great name.
Love
I'm gonna change that to Rudy Geronimo because that's fun. Just keep track of that just in case I come across another. Did I want to name a pirate Rudy Geronimo? Let's see. Also lost uh Maudie Law. Is that a good one? And she'd been with the ship since the beginning, so this is rough stuff.
Well,
Uh, And we also lost Lang the Slug Pain.
What?
They all get nicknames. I wasn't applying all their nicknames, but it does. Lang the Slug Pain is that's a good one.
That is a good one.
The Slug. It's Payne.
Oh, well, that's not as fun.
Okay, so those are the 3 that you lost.
None of the
Let's
other
see.
named folks that we picked up on last episode.
No, the only one you lost from last episode was Barclay.
Oh, Naomi won't be too sad. That's only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one of her too.
Dixie's
50% of
very
the crew.
sad.
50%.
Dixie's
I was about to say
sad.
Dixie's probably sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, was that
Dixie
the...
goes running below decks.
Oh, is that the one that they weren't? They
Hmm.
were like wanted to make out with
You
each other.
told them
but
to
didn't.
kiss, yeah.
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 Oh no, I'm sorry. Now Araceli's like, oh, well.
Dixie comes running back up after going below decks, and she's like wiping a little bit of snot and tears from her face. She goes, "I don't mean to make things worse, but we're taking on water. That makes 2 of us."
Araceli awkwardly pats her on. Araceli doesn't know how to do comfort, but they're trying. This is new for them. And they're
Araceli
just
can
like-
magically heal, but not emotionally heal.
Yeah,
That's
they don't know how to do that.
important delineation. Absolutely.
They can handle
like-
all types of damage except for emotional damage.
Yep, yep.
That one is beyond abjure.
Okay.
You're broken in a way that I can't magically heal. It's important that you know that.
Okay.
While the crew is deciding, this is a great time to remind you that you can put hashtag cursed in chat to enter to win a free PDF copy of Cursed Captains of Cthulhu, the game we are playing for Black Cats Gaming.
Can Araceli have a one-track mind a little bit and make sure Kayn and Lucy are topped off in health? Can we just like agree that I healing balm that?
Sure.
Oh yeah,
Before we jump down there.
Kayn just sort of like waves you off because Kayn is unscathed.
Okay,
Of
well,
course he is.
Araceli is also going to heal themselves because they had 9 HP.
Good
We're not
lord.
unscathed.
Kayn's so badass.
Kayn is just like, what? Like, it's hard?
I know, right?
Just hit, just dodge and hit.
Just dodge. Just get good.
Get good.
I think if we're taking on water, I probably would head below decks to assess the situation. So I imagine if Araceli is going to be topping off Lucy, they have to chase Lucy.
Oh, yeah.
Down
They're
below
just
decks.
running, and you're glowing magically a lot as they're just throwing healing balm at like anybody who's got wounds in their like general vicinity,
Yeah.
medium range.
Really, really playing towards that healer main. Just stop moving.
Yeah, I am a tank main trying to figure out how to be a healer. This is a new skill for me.
Lucy, you go below decks and you can see that the crew deck seems to be holding itself together pretty well. However, you do notice that there are several circular holes that have been punctured into the side of the ship, and as the waves kind of crash up, a little bit of water is splashing. It's not even ankle deep, but there's just a little bit of water moving. However, you can hear and feel the water that is seemingly filling your hold, and as you go down the steps into the hold, you can see that there are already sailors down there that are attempting to bail water and put them in buckets and carry them back up and toss them out of those improvised portholes. And quickly, an assembly line is being formed of the sailors to try to bail water from your hold. But you are taking on water rather quickly. As you can see, there are several chunks of your ship that have been taken out by these ship eaters.
Sorry, my brain is just going to like, why are you bailing out water but not fixing the problem where water is coming from? And you know what? I think that's going to be Lucy's reaction. She just takes a moment, pauses, notices what the crew is doing, gives another dramatic sigh, and says, You can't fix the problem just by bailing out the water boils. Go and close up the holes." And like goes and tries to find tools that I am sure are around the ship, and maybe some maybe if there's no spare wood, like pulling apart like crates.
Yeah, your shipwright's tools, absolutely. I will never get over Lucy's exasperation at her nameless ship's hapless crew. Yeah, you were able to find shipwright's tools, and I don't think we've assigned a bosun technically, or maybe that was Naomi. But several of the crewmen begin to try to close and create improvised seals to these holes in the ship.
Like the only competent crewmates are Kayn, Araceli, and 99% of the time Naomi. So I think that's really it. It's like the professor dealing with Gilligan, but all the crewmates are Gilligan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna do. So
Okay.
Valor, Abhishek.
What? I don't know anything about boats. It's important to note. I have no clue how to keep a boat from sinking. But can I possibly cast Bulwark to close the holes
Yeah.
temporarily while people seal one, kind of just reduce the amount of water coming in?
Let's see. Is this Eldritch Bulwark?
No, just bulwark.
Just bulwark. Okay. Let's see. There's 9 instances of it. Let me see if I can. Oh, there it is. Okay. You stretch your arms out on either side. At the end of the motion, metallic sound rings. Iron black bricks shake their way out of the floor and stack themselves one on top of another, creating a wall enclosing the entrance. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's a really good use of this spell. Any door, tunnel, or opening which is smaller than short range by short range. Yes, absolutely.
Hole?
Yeah, that's an opening. So cool. Yeah. Go ahead and roll your casting number. It's studies 9.
That is 18, so I'm great. It's double what I needed.
Only because I can't get this out of my brain. You create a magical seal, which is just a seal that's made of magical energy. It goes or, and then it starts stacking bricks, and you are able to seal up. I'm sorry, my brain would not let that one go. I'm so sorry. I didn't do it at the first time. I had to get it out, or it would haunt me.
Let's go.
So I will actually say that because bricks aren't a really great way to seal water, we can say that, and also you probably don't have a lot of bricks on this ship. It does, much as Lucy was stating, like pull from some of the barrels, some of the iron bands snap from them, and the planks lengthen around the opening, and the iron bands strap themselves to the side of the ship, and you are able to close up. You were able to close up one of the holes as the others are being hammered shut as well. You're still in about waist deep water down here, but the holes in the ship have been closed up pretty successfully. A little bit of water is leaking in here or there because they're not perfect. But you have done a pretty great spell for that one. That's actually really great. Okay. With your ship now being bailed from the water that's in there, that it's not, taking on as much as it was previously. What would you like to do next?
I think Araceli is just gonna sit there for a minute and we're just talking like literally sit like on a place that isn't fully in water, just feet in the water, kind of just like nothing else go wrong for 5 minutes. I just need to breathe. Nobody else, nothing else. Just 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes pass, and then no. Kayn, what about you?
I think Kayn doesn't have any spells to like block this thing via magical means, so he's just gonna try and see what if he can like seal up any holes that he can with some debris, anything, something. I don't know. He's gonna try to do something, but I don't know if it'll work. But he's gonna do something.
Yeah. Let's call this a seafaring.
Okay. Would this be considered ship handling?
I would consider it. Sure.
All right, cool. That was ship handling skill. Let's begin a nudge for that then.
You can handle that ship.
Okay. It's not bad. Actually, all things considered. 4, it's 12 plus 2, 14. I'm gonna nudge that to a 15.
Okay. I think a 15 is pretty great. You are able to work in tandem with a few of the other deckhands, and you are able to seal up the final breach in the hold of the ship. And the hull seems to, again, be mostly stable. A little bit of water leaks in from time to time, but it's not the flood that was happening before. And again, you have your assembly line of sailors that are bailing water out of the portholes on the crew deck, as well as an additional line to kind of like double up and make it go a little bit faster, that are bailing from the top deck. Okay. Anything you all want to do before we end the day?
Araceli, make sure everybody is like fully okay. At this point, even the crew is like, we're fine. Like levels of like, they're maybe being a little too much for everyone now.
Yeah, absolutely. These are like, gruff pirate sailors. They're like, we're fine. Please stop. Please stop. I'm tired of glowing. I'm really tired of glowing. This scar was already here. This isn't new. I like it. In fact, it makes me unique. I'm a triplet. This is how I differentiate.
Araceli's like, fine, okay, everybody's not dying or being captured or drowning or everything is fine temporarily. And I think they're just gonna look. Has their spot gotten worse in all this, by the way? Or is it about the same?
It's been about the same.
Okay.
You haven't really, and well, actually, let me ask you. Have you had any open discussions about the spot itself or about the island, or have you had any intentions of turning away from the island?
No. Opposite, actually. I think they're being very tight-lipped about it. They understand, like they saw what happened if you talk about it, so they're doing the opposite. They're like concealing, don't feeling this. So good.
Then you're fine.
Perfect. So they're just kind of staring at that like, I'm fine. This is fine. I'm not bothered right now.
You're not letting it
Everything-
go. Absolutely.
Yeah. Everything is a-okay.
Bet they can't wait to let it go though.
they're they're fine.
Listen, you can Elsa this maybe later. Okay, I did get the Frozen reference. I don't want you to think that got missed. Okay. Night arrives, and for all of you that would have been able to see the map, that would navigationally understand where you are, you would know that you would likely reach the Isle by the next day. It has been just about the period of time that it would take for you to traverse to it. As you're navigating by, well, you can't really navigate by the stars. Judging by the knots that you have been pushing through in the waves, you've been making really great time. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's not, as you're going to the Isle of the Damned. Regardless, the next day arrives. You all can take your rest and recovery. The rest of the crew does as well. And as you are coming to about midday, where would all of you be? Mostly referring to Kayn, because would anybody be in the crow's nest? I guess that's my question. Kayn,
Okay,
go ahead and give me an accuracy with a reroll.
Accuracy with the reroll. Ooh, okay. Okay. First roll comes out to 6, 11, 12. First roll comes out to a 13.
Okay.
We'll do the reroll, see what I got. That's gonna come out to 9, 12, 15, 16 on the reroll.
Great. What I'm gonna try to color this as is, at first, it's like a shock to your eyes a little bit. It's a break in the storm, as far as you can tell. It's this light that's kind of like pushing through all of the rain, and it's disorienting at first because it's all of that light refracting through all of these countless water droplets that are just pounding from the sky. As you get closer and closer, you begin to see the silhouette of this island. And it's just as about your ship is about to break from the storm, like a wall, literally passing through a wall of rain that seems, as you're getting closer, circular around this island, this eye of the storm that the island seems to exist within. You see it before anyone else does. Do you shout out anything?
Yeah, definitely. He'll sort of let them make them aware. Hey, looks like we're nearing it. But he will. I think he would probably mention, I guess, the gigantic rain wall curtain around the island as well. Make note of that. But definitely let them know that it looks like we're getting close, or at least I can see it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Pig leans over the crow's nest as well and goes, bah, bah, bah. And everybody kind of looks up at that. What you all would see as you approach is an island with golden sand and green trees. It seems to have what at first appears like a hill or a crest of a mountain almost, until you begin to get closer and closer and see the form of this thing. And you realize that what originally appeared like a break in the mountain, like a cavern or a cave of sorts, is a maw, a skeletal maw. And what originally appeared like the cliff or mountain of this thing are rib bones and a spine that extends outwards. This island seems to be formed around the shape of a gargantuan skeleton. Humanoid-esque, but most certainly not just by size, but by shape of the skull, by the count of rib bones, by the point of the spine, most definitely not fully human, were it to be fully contained of its flesh and organs and everything else. Um, how would you like to proceed? Do you want to break out of that rain wall? It is about midday now, which is something you can very clearly tell as in this eye of the storm, there are blue skies above. It is cloudless. The sun is high enough in the sky that it is like a spotlight on this thing. And so it is, you know that if you were to break from the choppy ocean, even the water beyond where the rain is calm. It's clear bluish green. It's deep enough that you can't fully see the bottom until you get closer to the island. But if anyone were looking out, they would not necessarily be able to see your ship reasonably until you broke out of that rain wall. What would you all like to do?
Honestly, I think Kayn would advocate for, I guess, breaking through the rain wall. Like, given, what we just went through, like, with the whole ship eaters and all that, I think he'd really rather not have to deal with any more conditions or stormy weather or anything. So there's a chance for, like, decent weather and, like, decent conditions and, planned. I think he'll advocate for going through it.
Yeah, I think Araceli's very just, we gotta go get Naomi and we gotta go. We gotta do it.
I think hearing both of my closest crew advocate for that, I think I just give like a simple nod and turn around and instruct the helmsman to push on through.
Okay. Your ship's bow breaks through the rain wall, kind of, what do I say, arcing around your ship. The water kind of breaking, like going through a waterfall in a lot of ways. And you begin to see the sun kind of illuminating the ship, a ship that you almost forgot really what the color of it was in sunlight after several days, almost weeks of being at sea in this greenish gray haze. But you break to this clear water, and as your sails break through that fall of rain as well, the wind doesn't catch them as much. It still propels you a little bit forward, but it's like passing into a completely different climate at this point. It's almost a shock to your systems a little bit, from the extreme cold rain to this warmth of the sun just beating down from above, a sun that you have not seen for some time as well. As you all break out into the sun, the bright light from above, go ahead and give me a accuracy check. We're going to do, yeah, just an accuracy check for that one.
14.
5s and a 6 plus 2.
2 5s and 6 plus 2, so 18. Okay.
$20 for Kayn.
Okay. So all of you successfully able to see Kayn a little bit better than anyone else. Kayn will get like something a little extra here. You all be able to look to the island again, see this mountainous skeleton that, again, like the sand has worn up against. There are rocky outcroppings to the skeleton itself. It seems part of the natural environment as much as anything else here. There are trees and vines and plants, this greenery that all extends outwards. You can even see like spots of color that might be flowers or tropical birds that are flying about. You also can see that there is that cavernous mouth that does seem to extend into what would be a cave of some sorts, a dark opening, as the jaw seems to be slightly off the hinge of the upper cranial area, and somewhat buried in the sand with these jagged teeth, but leading inwards to this void. Kayn, you would spot, in addition to all of that, amongst all the greenery, there are breaks in it that you might interpret as buildings. Not like civilized, I'm going to use that term. Not like full structures. These are not like stone buildings. These might not even be wooden buildings. These might be closer to huts or improvised dwellings from what is provided on this island, which would mostly be leaves and palm wood and things like that. You don't see any fires, you don't see any smoke. And Kayn, you're not sure, but you think you see the movement of beings on the beach.
I think I definitely would alert the others to their like, hey, heads up. Looks like there's movement on the beach. Be ready for a welcome party, whether that be good or bad.
I'll nod at Kayn's call, and I will call out to the crew to bring the ship to a halt. We're going to be taking in the boats to land. Because the last thing we need is to, one, ground the ship, but also have a bunch of people hoping to leave said isle swarm boat.
Yeah. Your anchor is dropped, and the launch boats are prepared. I want to make one more clarification. The cave, the cavernous mouth, does have a stream of water coming into it or going out of it. There's a connection to the ocean itself, where if you would have the potential to sail a smaller ship, perhaps inside the mouth of this skeletal thing. But yes, anchors dropped, launch is prepared. Let's go ahead and end there for the night, as you all prepare to land on the Isle of the Damned, Isla de los Malditos, and perhaps find your lost compatriot, Naomi. That will be our finale episode next week. Same time, same place. Thank you all so much for joining us for another episode of Cursed Captains of Cthulhu. I'm Derek Sword. You see him pronouns. I've been your GM for this game. I want to have these lovely people say more about themselves and where you can find more of them. And I highly recommend you do. Buy the things that they make, support the streams that they have, donate Ko-fis, all that kind of stuff. Coffees, however the hell it's pronounced. All that great stuff. Please check them out on social media, and then we'll do some channel stuff, and we will wrap up for the night. We're also going to wrap up our giveaway. So by the time that we're done with these folks, please, if you would like to enter to win a PDF copy, free PDF copy of Cursed Captains of Cthulhu, enter hashtag cursed in chat. Let's go ahead and go around. Abhishek, where can we find more of your lovely self?
Hey everyone, my name is Abhishek I go by Neon Raiden on Twitter, so that's Neon_Raiden on Twitter, or just Neon Raiden on BlueSky. I'm a TTRPG actual play performer, voice actor, and just all-around lover of things tokusatsu, so anything Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Power Rangers, Ultraman, the whole shebang. Aside from next week for the last episode of Cursed Captains, I am currently not in anything else at the moment. So, but hopefully that is subject to change in the future. So yeah.
Guaranteed it is. Thank you, Abhishek. Next up, we have Dax.
Hi, I'm Dax, she, her pronouns. If you've enjoyed anything that I've done tonight, go check out Roads Uncharted. I am the game master over there and the producer. It is the first ever, longest running, 3-time award nominated Genesis RPG actual play podcast. We are in our 6th season, and we have a full cast of characters over there, like truly characters. So go check us out. Wednesday on my channel, DexR19, you can catch the premiere of a Star Wars mini series that will be run to raise money for the Lupus Foundation of America. The Tiltify link can be found on my BlueSky GM Dax, where incentives are already live, including a very cool incentive where I will insert a complication into the episode. So you can go check us out over there. Got a great cast of characters that I can't wait to have y'all meet, and some special guests as well. But otherwise, on my channel, I generally do charity streams, sometimes TTRPGs, and I also play video games just for fun. So you can go catch me out there and just hang out.
Awesome. Thank you, Dex. Next up, we have Val. Also, congratulations, Val, for winning the giveaway for Cursed Captains.
Yay!
Yeah.
It seems like I've got good luck tonight, which is great because
Yeah.
I'm sure none of that will be here next week when I need it the most. So, yay! But yes, I am again Val, our Space Valkyries. My pronouns are she, they. You can find me pretty much everywhere at Space Valkyries. I stream on Twitch Wednesdays and Fridays at 10:30 in the morning Eastern time because I hate myself but love to stream in the morning and just wake up with friends. And I'm also trying to get more people to check out my YouTube channel as well. So same username, youtube.com/@SpaceValkyries. And yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Next up, we would typically have Amaya. Amaya will be joining us next week. You can find Amaya on socials at Amaya is okay. I believe that's BlueSky and Instagram. And Amaya is absolutely fantastic. Is a fantastic artist. Please check out the stuff that they make and cast them in your games. And I am Derek Sword. I use he, him pronouns. Again, I've been your GM for this game. For all of Sword and Key stuff, you can check us out at beacons.ai/Sword and Key. We have all of our links in one neat, nice place. Right up at the top is our Twitch. If you're already there watching this live, give us a follow. We'd always appreciate it. Never required, but always great. Next up is our Discord. You can always hang out on our Discord with cool folks, talk about cool things. It's also where we put our applications out first. So if that is something that you ever have interest in, is playing in a game with wonderful people like this, you can play in the near future. We're going to have applications out. I'm actually not sure what the next series of games are, but we will likely have something out soon. It is an inevitability at this point. Beneath that on Beacons, we have links to our charitable organizations. That is, right now, Lambda Legal is our big Pride Month push. We also have Palestine Children's Relief Fund, which you can donate to at any time. Kayn Campaigns for Independence. And then we also have our Monday game of Fragments of Loss. I'll talk about that more here in a second. That is raising money for Trans Lifeline. And that extends outside of Pride Month. You can also find links to our socials at BlueSky and Instagram. You can find links to the podcast Monster Crush. It's a podcast I do with my friend LD. We talk about different cryptids, creatures, miscellaneous monsters from myth and how smoochable they are. We will have a new episode out likely tomorrow, so check that out where podcasts are found. And then if you scroll out even more than that on Beacons, you can find our affiliates. We have a number of great affiliates. There's Eldritch Foundry, if you're looking for custom minis for your TTRPG. Even VTT stuff, they currently just introduced, or even licensing. If you would like to, if you have a 3D printer and you want to print unlimited stuff, you can pay a monthly subscription for that. But if you're going to be getting a mini, you can use code Sword and Key for 10% off your first purchase there. We're also affiliates with Long Dog Dice. The very wonderful Jen from Long Dog Dice makes incredible dice sets. It was recently Jen's birthday, so do yourself a little favor, get a gift for yourself and a little gift for Jen, I suppose, by supporting a small creator and get yourself a beautiful set of dice. We have these gorgeous dice right here. They're the official Horizons Call dice. I had these commissioned, and Jen liked them so much that she added them to the store. They actually do have the Sword and Key logo on the D6, which is pretty great. And you can use code Sword and Key for 10% off your first purchase there. Also affiliates with Hit Point Press. They make Humblewood, Griffin Saddlebag books, all that great stuff, animated spell cards, tons of really cool stuff. Use our affiliate code if you're going to be purchasing anything from them. I think that's the main stuff on the Beacons. Pretty sure. I don't know. Check it out. It's got lots of great stuff there. Let's take a look at our calendar. Today is the 14th. So, no, that's not right. Today's the 22nd. That's not. 14th is Flag Day. What the hell? Today's the 22nd. So again, Monster Crush likely coming out tomorrow. I still need to get it edited. So check that out where podcasts are found. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific time is Fragments of Lost. They are raising money for Trans Lifeline. That is a Rangers of a Broken World game run by the fantastic Angela, Phoenix 24 Femme. It's a great cast, really fun game over there. Check them out if you haven't already. On Tuesday the 24th at 7 p.m. Pacific time, we have the return of Gate Night. We've taken a couple of weeks off, but that's where Shadow, LD, and I play Baldur's Gate 3, the only video game streamed here currently on Sword and Key. On the 25th at 4 p.m. Pacific time, that's Wednesday, we have a special one-shot of Devil's Dandy Dogs. That is part of the Lambda Legal charity campaign for this month. It's being run by Mare and has a great cast for that. And then on the 26th, that's Thursday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, we have the finale of Under Blue Moon. That is part 4 of 4. So that is an 80s-inspired summer camp slasher. That's run by Cass, and again, another fantastic cast, and we'll see who survives this one. On the 27th, that's Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, we have a Pride Paint Night with Kayla and Liz, two of our mods here in Sword and Key. They are painting Pride dragons that are part of a giveaway that we're doing for the month. So I know we had a paint night last Friday that Kayla did, and this time Kayla's going to be joined by Liz, which is really great. On the 28th at 3 p.m. Pacific time, we have the next episode of Horizon's Call. If you didn't check out last week, it was a pre-recorded character spotlight episode of Acacia. This week is going to be another interesting one as we're kind of taking a little side quest. It's one of the characters has a book club with an eldritch being, and turns out that book club is kind of cursed. So we're going to see the ramifications of that. That's at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And then at 7 p.m. Pacific time after that, we have a special one-shot. It's a two-person game of UST, Unrequited Sapphic Tension, played by LD and Shadow. That is also part of the Lambda Legal Pride Month campaign. And then next week on the 29th, week from today, 3 p.m. Pacific time, is the finale of Cursed Captains of Cthulhu. So check us out then. Hopefully sooner, but it's a busy week, so there's plenty of opportunities to see us. I'm only going to go a week deep because it's busy and we got more stuff coming up. You can check us out late next month for even more charity stuff. We're going to be, I think our next charity we're going to be supporting is Doctors Without Borders, because the need is ever present, but especially now. So there's always a great opportunity for you to put your money towards a great cause. Should you be willing and able, those are always important factors to go into it. But thank you so much for everyone who's donated so far. We're sitting at $2,170.69. Nice. We're going to hit our next goal at $2,500. So you can donate at any time through the links on Beacons, as well as in chat, as well as on our socials, and you can spice up games that are going to be playing. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for donating. Thank you to this wonderful cast and to you in the audience. We hope to see you next week, if not sooner. Until that time, take care of yourselves and others, and fair winds and following seas, Bread Mariners.